Hey friends, I'm home again. Had sort of a slow day today. If you saw my post yesterday, you're aware that I was way under the weather. Feeling much better today, but I'm still home. Annalise is still here. We're sort of, I think, on the last day of recovery from our blitz to New York, but we'll see. Come tomorrow, we will know whether today is our last day or whether that is continuing for a few more days. But out of that has come a really amazing day today, and also a bit of just an insight. Something, so I woke up this morning, did my usual thing. I had finally got some sleep because my throat was killing me yesterday, and it started to subside overnight. And I woke up this morning, did my usual routine, and as I was sitting to meditate, I heard a little noise behind me, and I turned around, and Annalise was standing at the door. And I couldn't tell it was her because she hadn't made her usual footsteps down the hallway, clunking onto the step down into the foyer, and then kind of like bumping up against the door. She did it stealthy this morning, and I turned around and said hello to her, and we connected. And she came in, and I asked, "Have you checked on Mama?" And she said, "No, I didn't want to check on Mama." I said, "Was Mama asleep?" She said, "No, Mama's awake." I said, "Okay, maybe we should go let her know that we're awake." And I said, "Does she know that you're awake?" And Annalise said, "No, because I snuck out. I did it sneakily." So I guess that meant that she tiptoed past the bedroom door. Usually the first thing she does is go in and check on Mama. And so she landed with me, and she had found this little stamp, and we got some paper, and we started stamping. And I had this really interesting experience of just for the duration of that morning time, because I knew, okay, she's not going to school, so there's no hurry to get breakfast done. There's no hurry to get practicing violin. There's no, usually my day starts on a grid from about 4:30 onwards. Every hour, half hour is partitioned, and we're kind of gunning for the next thing to happen so that the day can hit all the right, so that they can be out the door at the right time, and I can get on my first session at the right time. But I had this beautiful moment of just agendalessness. And it meant that Annalise and I had a beautiful moment of just hanging out, putting stamps on sheets of paper, just taking our time. I didn't need to move her anywhere, and it something dawned on me, because so much of my interaction, not just with my daughter but with everybody in life, is being generated by an agenda. Not an agenda in a bad way, but just an agenda that there are things to get done, things to be gotten done. And with a 4-year-old, there's a particular kind of just amazing connection, amazing contact, and interaction that can happen when there's no agenda, when we're not trying to get anywhere. There's no time target to hit. And so then I kind of kept that going. I knew as rolling into breakfast, I was able to keep that. Rolling into the next part of the morning, I was able to keep that. Eventually, I noticed, okay, well, got to go grocery shopping, and then we want to come back and do a bike ride, and then we want to have lunch, and we have to do all that before nap time. So eventually, my clock started to kick in, and I sort of felt myself go into, okay, now I have an agenda. Now I want her to start doing things, specific things that are going to get us down the road, whether it's like get your clothes on, get your shoes on, whatever. And I noticed the shift. I felt it as a big shift in state because I had been so surrendered in a way. And this is the beauty. This is, in some ways, it's like what I was saying yesterday. It's in some ways it's the beauty of illness, although I don't think that it has to be, the beauty of needing to take some time to recover, of just the priority being essentially relaxing and stopping the movement. The beauty of that is that you get these opportunities to feel what it can be like, to feel what can be the case when there's no agenda, or a very loose one. And it makes me want to consider how to schedule some of that into my days, my weeks, into my routine, where there's a great amount of agenda. It's all agenda. It's all if I look at my calendar, I mean, it's literally called an agenda. It's what I'm doing today and tomorrow and the next day, and I'm pretty. I'm somebody who thrives on having that stuff pretty clear. I do better when it's all blocked out for me, so that I can anticipate and can get there on time. And but this day, which has been utterly beautiful, we went on a bike ride later and just have such a great amount of contact time. It's making me realize how important that is for me too. It's really important to my interaction with Annalise, and I've already incorporated some of this into our violin practice, because I was realizing, I'm pushing awful hard and I don't think it's working. So what if I just stop? What if the only agenda is that we're going to have a cup of tea upstairs with the violin nearby and see what happens, and try that for a while? And we only did that I hit on this epiphany only days before we went to New York, so I haven't really had a lot of time to go deep on it. But the agenda of no agenda is kind of a thing that it's bringing me, it's surfacing as significant right now, because of just the doors that open when we truly can find ourselves just here, just relating, just listening. So, I mean, I already know, and I have known for a long time, that creative work on some level is this magic concoction. At the highest level, it's a magical formula of intense focus and rigor and intentionality and total openness and agenda-less play, because we have to shape what we're doing. We can't not know what we're doing. We have to have a craft. We have to have a thing we're trying to make, and we need to know the rules of that game. We need to know how those structures are built, whether we're writing a musical or writing a book, or whatever we're creating has a structure, and there are roadmaps we can follow. There are rules we can follow. There are rules we can break. Well, we want to know them before we break them, usually. So there's that whole kind of intentional side. And then there's the fact that what comes through only comes through when it comes through freely, when it doesn't come through because it's like a part that's being machined to fit into a machine. And even that we sometimes need. But the real stuff, the real inspiration, the kind of bolts of lightning and the things that make the thing sparkle come through because there's freedom. They come through because we can drop all agenda. So it's like dropping our agenda on cue and then picking it up again. That's the real skill of creative work. So I think a little bit of family time, a little bit of time in bed has just given me a wonderful little access point to that. Thanks for watching, folks. All the love in the world. Appreciate you. I will see you very soon.